Welcome back to Auto Access Hub. Today is a special one because we're talking about cars that just dropped for 2026. Machines that don't just move you from point A to point B, but make you feel something. Before we get into it, here's a question for you. If you could own one car that feels like an Italian supercar but costs way less, which brand would you trust the most? Keep that in mind till the end, because one of these surprise you. All right, let's get into it. When people hear the words Italian, they think Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati, sharp designs, emotional engines, dramatic interiors, and that special feeling where even starting the car feels like an event. The problem? Not everyone can spend $300,000 or more, and that's exactly where 2026 gets interesting. This year, several manufacturers have launched cars that deliver that same drama, excitement, and presence without the insane supercar price tag. Number 1. The 2026 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. This car doesn't just try to be exciting, it demands your attention. From the moment you walk up to it, there's something unapologetically Italian about the way it carries itself. The lines aren't soft or safe. They're sharp, confident, almost dramatic. The hood stretches forward aggressively. The front end looks like it's ready to pounce. And the overall stance feels planted and athletic. Even standing still, it feels alive, like it's waiting for you to wake it up. Once you're inside, that feeling only intensifies. The driving position feels perfect, low, snug, and focused. The steering wheel feels like it belongs in a race car. And the moment you start driving, the connection is immediate. This isn't a car that filters out the road. It lets you feel everything. You sense the pavement, the grip, the balance, and that's where the magic happens. Every turn feels intentional. Every input feels rewarded. What makes the 2026 version special is how it balances refinement with chaos. Older Quadrifoglios were wild, sometimes a little too wild. This one feels more controlled, more confident, but it hasn't lost its soul. The car still wants to be driven hard. It still encourages you to take the long way home. And when you push it, it responds like it's been waiting for that moment all day. This is not just transportation. This is emotion on 4 wheels. Number 2, the 2026 Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray. This is the car that quietly shocked everyone. The Corvette name has always carried weight, but the E-Ray takes things into a completely new territory. Visually, it looks nothing like the Corvettes people grew up with. It's low, wide, dramatic, and exotic. From certain angles, you could easily mistake it for a European super. It has that presence, the kind that makes people stop and stare. But the real surprise comes when you drive it. The hybrid system adds an instant punch that completely changes how the car feels off the line. The acceleration is smooth but brutal, and the balance feels incredibly composed compared to older Corvettes. This one feels more mature, more precise, and more confident. It doesn't feel like it's trying to prove anything. It just performs. What really gives it that Italian supercar feel is the drama. The sound, the speed, the way it hugs the road, it all feels special. You don't feel like you're driving a muscle car anymore. You feel like you're driving something engineered to compete on the world stage. And the fact that it does all this while still being relatively attainable makes it even more impressive. Number 3, the 2026 Porsche 911 Carrera GTS. This is a masterclass in balance. Porsche doesn't rely on flash or over-the-top styling to make an impression. Instead, everything about the 911 feels deliberate. The 2026 GTS looks familiar, yet sharper and more athletic than before. It sits wider, feels more grounded, and has this quiet confidence that doesn't need to scream for attention. Behind the wheel, it feels like the car is an extension of your body. The steering is incredibly precise. The car responds instantly. And there's this sense of harmony between you and the machine. You're not fighting the car, you're working with it. Compared to previous generations, the 2026 GTs feels more refined, more capable, and even more engaging. While it may not have the wild personality of an Italian super, it delivers that same emotional satisfaction in a different way. It's the kind of car that makes every drive feel meaningful, whether you're pushing it hard or just cruising. There's a sense of connection that few cars can match. It's proof that excitement doesn't always have to be loud. Number 4, the 2026 BMW M4 CSL. This car is intense, and it doesn't try to hide it. From the outside, it looks aggressive and purposeful. The wide body, the low stance, the sharp edges, everything about it says this car means business. It doesn't look friendly. And that's exactly the point. Once you're driving, you realize this isn't a car built for comfort. It's built for engagement. The acceleration is strong, the handling feels tight, and the car constantly reminds you that it wants to be driven properly. Compared to older M cars, the CSL feels more focused, more extreme, and less forgiving, but also more rewarding. There's something very Italian about that philosophy. It doesn't hold your hand. It demands respect, and when you give it that respect, it delivers an experience that feels raw and thrilling. This is the kind of car that makes your heart race, even on short drives. It's not for everyone, but for the right driver, it's unforgettable. And finally, number 5, the 2026 Maserati GranTurismo. This car is all about elegance and emotion. It doesn't need sharp angles or aggressive lines to make a statement. Its beauty comes from smooth curves and graceful proportions. It looks expensive, sophisticated, and unmistakably Italian. Park it anywhere, and it instantly elevates the space around it. Inside, the experience feels special. The materials, the layout, the atmosphere, everything feels designed to make you feel good. It's sporty, but it's also luxurious. When you drive it, the focus isn't on being the fastest car on the road. It's about how it makes you feel. The sound is rich, the ride is composed, and the overall experience feels effortless. Compared to older Maseratis, the 2026 GranTurismo feels more polished and modern. It keeps the charm and emotion, but adds reliability and refinement. It's the kind of car you'd choose not just for performance, but for the experience. Long drives feel special. Short drives feel memorable. And that's exactly what an Italian-inspired car is that they prove one thing: you don't need an Italian badge to get an Italian supercar feeling anymore. You need emotion, design, sound, and connection. And that's exactly what these 5 cars deliver. Some of them focus on raw performance, some on balance, some on luxury, but all of them give you that special, the excitement that makes you look back at your car after parking it. That's the real test. If you walk away and still think about it, the car has done its job. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2026 top 5 cars with Italian supercar feel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Auto Access Hub, and turn on notifications.